guys, let's talk about it. This isn't going to be a negative video for the Tennessee Titans as they fall to the Seattle Seahawks 30-24 at home. And now you are the first team to reach double-digit losses, but also you're the worst record in the NFL. And same scenario that you were in last year. The worst team in the league, and you have a chance to possibly go in and get a first overall pick for the second year straight. Welcome into Titans Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper. And I will say, going into this game, you really didn't expect to win. They were, 12.5-point favorites. Seattle coming back after a loss to the last week. Trying to remember who they played. I think it was the Rams. But tough loss for Seattle. This was their quote-unquote get-back game. But you gave them a little scare. I mean, the Titans put the ball in the air first. They scored first on a field goal. And you competed your ass off from start all the way to finish. And that's kind of what I've been reiterating so far between the last couple of weeks is just, hey, be able to go down and compete and look like you're going to be able to develop Cam Ward into possibly your franchise guy. We have seen multiple times with multiple quarterbacks, specifically last year's draft class in particular. If you look at the Chicago Bears, they're 8-3. I think they're 8-3. But they are leading their division. They have a possibility to be the number one seed in the NFC. If you look at the Patriots, they're 10-2. They have the best record in the NFL, and they are in first in the AFC. Last year, the Bears sucked. Last year, the Patriots sucked. And their quarterback looked like they were developing down the line. And then you get to the second year, you bring in a new head coach. You bring in a lot new players. And both of those guys have bounced back. I could see that possibly happening with Cam Ward. And Cam Ward probably, at this point, I say it every single week that this is the best game we've seen so far from Cam Ward. And when I pull up the stats here, they don't lie. 28 for 42. He threw the ball 42 times, 256 yards, 1 touchdown, a 91 QB rating, 6 carries for 37 yards, 6.2 yards per carry. He was not only making plays in the air, because there's multiple times you saw him rolling out, but there was also multiple times where you saw him using his legs. He ran in for a touchdown, and he passed a touchdown. This was by far the best game from Cam Ward. And at this point, do you even want the Titans to win? Because if you're a fan, yeah, you want them to compete. But in the back of your head, you're thinking, first overall pick. We can trade. We can send a haul, get something, or send the pick, get a haul, and protect our future. That would be the perfect scenario. And I know, you gave him a scare, but still, the season's over. You saw truly what could possibly happen when you trade away and lose every single one of your cornerbacks. This is what happens when you trade away Roger McCreary. This is what happens when you trade away Jarvis Brownlee Jr. This is what happens when L'Jarius Sneed gets hurt. Jaxon Smith Njigba is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, if not the best, and he cooked today. 167 yards receiving, 8 catches, 2 touchdowns, and a lot of them were big. And then Kenneth Walker, 11 rushes for 71 yards. You couldn't stop a nosebleed, and that's the reason why you lost the football game. But you competed. And the one guy that I'm looking at more than anybody is Chimere Dike. Because Dike, that guy is going to be a star in this league. He leads the NFL in all-purpose yards. Thanks to a 90-yard punt return from the dude. That's his second punt return. Should be the third, but one was called back for a BS penalty. and then 5 catches, 44 yards, and a touchdown. Not only can he do that on the field, but also like on offense, but also special teams, this guy is going to be a big player for the Tennessee Titans, and I see him being a star in this league. But also, I just see Cam Ward being a star in this league because he's doing this with a bad offensive line. I mean, Dan Moore Jr. got hurt and he left. Lloyd Cushenberry got hurt. You were down to multiple backups on the offensive line. And how many times did Cam Ward get sacked today? 4 times, but it's not 6. He's still trying to avoid it. He's still playing well. So I want the Titans to tank, but I want Cam Ward to go out there and ball out. And that's what I want the most. So I'll ask you guys, do you believe in Cam Ward? Do you believe in him? Do you think he's going to be a franchise quarterback? Give me your Y for yes or give me an N for no. Before we get on out of here, the one thing that I'm going to say is Tony Pollard needs to be traded at the end of the year. They need to fully go into Tyjae Spears mode because Tony Pollard just can't do it. Tyjae Spears, I mean, he's a great passing back, but I get it. The offensive line doesn't help. But there was a 4th down play where they tried to run it up the middle with Tony Pollard, and it just was not working. At that point, just roll out Cam Ward and just let him sling it. And I think everybody can stand for me. We waited. What week is it? Week 12 now? And the Titans are now 1-10 on the season. And we waited and waited and waited. And finally, he got his opportunity after every single wide receiver got hurt because Elegay Manor was out. Van Jefferson did play, sorry. But a lot of wide receivers were out for the Titans. And Xavier Strepo finally got his opportunity. He finally got his opportunity. And he took advantage of it. Didn't do much. 2 catches, 26 yards, 6 targets on the day for him. But you could see that he was on page with Cam Ward. He definitely was on the same wavelength, the same connection. And that's all you wanted to see. Give him the opportunity because at this point you had nothing to lose. You really had nothing to lose. And I want him to keep playing over and over and over again. Because there's no reason not to. He's a good player. He's a hustler. He's going to make his presence known because he's only going to get better. He's going to be the hardest worker on the field. So let him play more, man. Just let him play more. Come on. If you want Xavier Restrepo to play, spam your X's on down in the chat. What's next for the Titans? You got the Jags at home. Wrap up a 4-game homestand against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, let's make note, they blew out the Chargers last week and barely beat the Cardinals this week. Anything can happen in a divisional matchup. And we got you covered here on Titans Today. So make sure you hit that sub button. And as always, tighten up.